Welcome back to the Dance Golf World Show. Action-packed week. TGL, I just got back. I was there. It was incredible. We're going to go crazy deep dive into that. We're also going to take a look at last weekend's PGA Tour winners, all the stuff around that. Return of Jordan Spieth. I'm ready now. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. We're going to jump into that, as well as take a look at what is ahead coming up in golf right here on the Dance Golf World Show. Gentlemen, welcome back to the studio. Another show, another week to talk about golf. What more could we ask for in life other than a win from Tiger Woods at TGL? Maybe that's the one thing I would ask for. I don't know. Call me crazy. Did you guys watch last night or what?
I watched it today.
You watched it today? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're caught up.
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what's
caught
going
up.
on.
Yeah.
Rich, how about you? Where are you at on TGL right now?
Oh, I watched it all live last night. I was maybe like a half hour behind because I got thrown off. I didn't realize they were starting so much earlier this week. So I went to go on. I'm like, oh, TGL's getting ready to come on. And it's like, it's already going. It's like, oh, wait. So
Yeah, they bumped it up. It was 8 o'clock Central for us last week, and it moved up to 7 o'clock Central. Is that right? Is that what it was?
that's right.
I think so. I have no clue. I watched
Something
it.
like that.
Well, I forgot about it.
Or was it 6 o'clock Central?
It was nice skipping the commercials, though, as always.
Well, I will tell you what else was nice. Getting to be in the SoFi Center and see TGL take place right before my eyes. And I got to tell you, it was pretty cool.
It's so amazing
Dude.
now.
Dude, it's
I've got
insane.
so many questions for you about just everything.
Oh,
Like,
how about this? You know what? Because I feel like I have so much to talk about, and I don't even know where to begin. So maybe fire some off. Like, what do you got, Rich?
Well, all right. Well, first of all, just talk about your whole dynamic of when you left, when you got back, all that kind of
Well, it was a wild journey to get there. It was a one-day trip. I wasn't even in Florida for 24 hours. I left my home at 2:30 in the morning. Drove
That's
the airport.
super early for you. You're usually not even going to bed by 2:30.
Well, that's it. That was the weird part. Usually that's around bedtime, not like start your crazy long day, fly to, so I left the house 2:30 in the morning, park at the airport, go to O'Hare, fly down to Fort Lauderdale, rent a car, grab a hotel room, shower, change, whatever, head straight to TGL, and I'm there early. And let me tell you why I was there early. I was invited to come a little before the rest of the media to do a little behind the scenes tour. And I got to see every square inch of the SoFi Center. And I mean every square inch. None
awesome.
to be left out. And I will say, I got to touch Tiger Woods' shoes.
I knew it. I knew
That's all
it.
I did. That's all I'm saying. I did. I got to touch Tiger Woods' shoes. So here's how it went. And there's so much to talk about actually for the gameplay and TGL I want to get into. But I was invited to do this tour, and part of the tour we went through the locker room. I have tons of video. I'm gonna have to get all this edited. There's so much to it. Can't wait to get all this stuff posted. But part of it was going into the player locker room. I think it was the ESPN social page last week shared like a quick little pan shot of the locker room where we got to see all of their warm-up hitting bays, like the simulators that they get to kind of, get warmed up on. Yep. There's so much more. Like way more. I mean,
because it looked like it was just those bays that was all in there and then a place to change.
Ice baths? Did you know they have ice baths?
That's nice.
Okay.
Okay. Did you know they have a physio, stretching, and recovery room? One for each team.
Wow.
We need that.
That's
yeah.
nuts.
And, my favorite thing, and this is something in all of pro golf that as a golfer, and Gary, I know you feel the exact same way about this as I do. The sort of like happy envy you feel when you see these guys, they're set up before a round where they have boxes of balls stacked up, like 6 new gloves, even though they're probably only going to use one, like a brand new pair of shoes that you're going to wear tonight that you've never worn before that are sitting right here for tonight. So you have a brand new fresh pair of shoes. And it's like, I want that so bad.
The elimination of all the negativity of having to go get your own stuff. This is broken. This is missing. This is this.
We're like racing off the first tee back to the pro shop to grab a sleeve of Lottie's or whatever.
But then the excitement, because this goes back to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wore a fresh pair of shoes every single time he went onto the court. And he did that because he said there was like this placebo effect to where he would play even better, because how good do you feel when you put on a brand new outfit before you go golf?
Oh, dude, it brand new outfit, brand new glove.
Oh, brand new glove. It's so nice.
It's not even broke in yet. You kind of got to squeeze in a little bit.
You throw me the Kirkland ones, and I feel like I won the lottery.
Okay, I'm going to make a side note here. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the Kirkland gloves at Costco are crazy good.
Creme de la creme. They're like the true sauce.
They come in like a 4-pack. They're like $23, so they come out to, I don't know, whatever that is, $6.5, $7 each, whatever it is. Killer price for a killer glove. That's all I'm saying. Don't judge me.
It's like a $25 quality glove, and it compares to the Titleist True Soft, like you said.
It 100% does. But the only problem is you have the logo of your milk on your hand the whole time you're golfing, so you feel like an idiot.
Dan sent me some photos last night from the TGL.
Oh, Gizmo.
And I can just smell the jealousy coming off of Gary over here.
Oh, no.
Dan, you got to tell him all the cool Tiger Woods things you did.
Oh, geez.
Gary, your new contact photo in my cell phone is a screenshot from your video fist-bumping Tiger Woods.
Here we go.
But I will have to say,
I hate
Dan's
you all.
got you beat on this one. I hate siding with him, but it's the truth.
Wow.
So Dan, I know you've been to the SoFi Center before, but like from when you watched it on TV versus like being there, does it feel a lot bigger? Does it feel a lot smaller? Like the actual place where the place is?
Yeah, well, so I've essentially had 3 experiences with TGL. The media day about a month before the first competition. And I will tell you this, it is wild how much the building changed even in that month. And so I don't know if they were working on Christmas, what they're doing, these guys, I don't know, they don't go to bed. But just like the branding, the completion of stuff, like I thought it was great on media day back like early December. Walking back in there yesterday, I was just like, it's crazy. Like the Best Buy branding and like all this stuff. I don't know. It was just like all the fan experience stuff, like these like putting things, the merch store, like all this stuff was like, where was all this? Like, yeah, no, we literally just did that like in the last few weeks. I'm like, it's incredible how this thing has sort of all come together and landed right at the start of, TGL. It's pretty impressive. But here's what else. Well,
it's also cool, like from the point of view of watching week 1 and watching week 2.
Yeah.
Like it was almost 2 separate weeks to me.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was leaps and bounds better week 2 than week 1. And I loved week 1. Week 1 was great. I mean, there were some few things, but like week 1 was awesome. And like week 2 was like, I think it just took another week. Like I'm super excited for week 3 now.
Yeah.
Because just to see the progression that it keeps going.
I was at the Miami airport dropping my rental car off. Yeah, I flew into Fort Lauderdale, flew out of Miami. Listen, you got to get flights. You got to do what you got to do. We had to get back. We had a show to do. And I'm on like the train from the rental car center back to the Miami airport. And I see a couple guys, they come strolling on with some golf clubs in the travel bags. And I was like, where'd you guys play? I'm like,
exactly what I would have said.
We're instantly friends, right? Like
friends.
you cruising with your travel bags.
Where are you guys going? Could I go? I can fit in that bag.
You guys need a 4th?
Are you sure? All right.
And so they're like, yeah, we were in town for work. We did a whole golf event, yada, yada. They're like, how about you? Were you down here playing? And I was like, no, I was at TGL last night. They're like, so were we.
Oh.
I was like, no way. I was like, for real? They're like, yeah. They're like, we were in town for this whole other thing, but we added a day because we wanted to go check this thing out. We're super excited. So we start talking about it. And, they're like, so what do you think? And here was my honest thing that I shared with them, and I'll share with you now, is I said, I love golf. I love all things golf. I love playing golf. I love talking about golf. I love watching golf. I love watching other people golf, everything. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm into it. I'm all about it. I love buying golf shit, everything. I said, but with this thing, I said, I feel like it is too new to judge.
Yeah, 100%.
That they invented this. It's an invention. Like this whole thing was not on this planet, 2.5 weeks ago. And now here it is. So of course there's going to be things where they're like, hey, on paper, we thought this was going to go like this, but in reality, it actually went like that. So we're going to make some adjustments. That is everything in life.
I have a question
But
leading off of that.
well, and I'll jump to you in a second, but what I shared with them, I said, I think if you truly appreciate golf and the sport and all of that,
You're going to give it a chance.
you got to. You just give it some room.
100%.
Give it a chance to breathe. Enjoy this taking in this brand new invention.
Plus, it's coming from Tiger, the #1 golfer ever. So it has to be good, and he will make the tweaks, and he will listen to people, and he is going to evolve. You know?
Right. So it's like, give it some room, let it breathe, allow it its chance in time and in history, and let it evolve and appreciate the process. Because I thought week 1 was great. I thought week 2 was great. And I think it's going to keep getting better. But there are people who have, criticisms and critiques. It's like, hang on to them for a minute. Like,
Plus,
I don't
everybody's
know.
a hater.
Well, and
anyways.
the cool thing too is like they're willing to do the tweaks. Like
Yeah.
I already saw it from week 1 to week 2. There was a lot of difference, a lot of tweaks. It was much better. I mean, it took almost a half hour for the first shot after the week 1.
Yeah.
They were shooting like right away in week 2. And the fact that they understand tweaks need to happen and that they're willing to do them. They're not just setting their way.
Yeah.
Nope, we got to do the intro, then we got to do this. That they're being fluid with it. I'm so stoked.
Did you feel like it was WWF or E-Style when the Tiger walked out, or did you see Tiger walk out with the Eye of the Tiger music?
I thought that was sick.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool.
I felt like he could have played the part a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I love though? Because that moment was electric in the room.
Electric.
It was, and the way it went is I watched half of it in the seats. I watched it, and then the other half I went back to the media center and watched it on the screen, sort of the broadcast version. So I saw a little bit of both, but I was in the room during the Tiger walkout. It was electric. It was so fun and so cool. And
That's one of those songs I listen to every time it comes on because it's the Eye of the Tiger. And Josh, you had a question. I had a question for you too.
Dun.
What was your question before?
oh yeah, sorry, I was going to come back to you and we haven't yet.
When it comes to like timing and all this stuff,
Yeah.
how long and when do they turn the green?
It's happening when you're not looking. Generally speaking,
Yeah, it's happening probably when they're hitting on the screen.
Well, and that's what's fun is there's stuff going on the opposite side. So whatever you're watching, if they're hitting at the big screen, there's guys over moving cups, moving the pin. The thing is spinning. All the undulations are changing. Undulation. That's our favorite word.
Oh my goodness, we said that so many times last week.
Can somebody please make us an edit?
Like ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding.
And then when
So you said
then when
said
play heads over to the green, back over on the other side, they have, I don't even know if it's in the broadcast, but like in tennis, there's like usually like younger kids or whatever that run and grab the ball.
Oh,
and
the
like,
ball boys.
They have those. 'Cause
Yeah.
all these balls are hitting the screen.
I saw that.
They're piling up down
so
there.
I could do this.
No, it's a little kid. It was literally
So I
like a
could
little
do
kid.
this.
That's what I mean. You could. Like Gary and a bunch of 13-years running around grabbing all the balls.
No, that's okay. Never mind. Moving
Sorry.
on.
That does not sound right at
Moving
all.
I was
on.
speaking in terms of
Wow.
Gary's youthful spirit.
Question.
And that is it.
Question. This leads into your Will Ferrell story when you met him in LA. This goes into my question. Would you like to just break that down super quick?
All right. When I was getting on The Biggest Loser, we had to go through all this doctor stuff. I was sitting in a Hollywood Hills doctor's office. He was the doctor for the show, The Biggest Loser. He saw tons of celebrities, and I'm sitting there waiting for my turn to go into this like a DEXA scan thing. And I look over, and Will Ferrell is sitting 1.5 chairs over in the waiting room. And I'm like, it's kind of weird to like talk to somebody in a doctor's office. I don't know. It's like private and quiet and whatever. And I didn't know what to say. And he's waiting and I'm waiting and minutes are passing and he's like on his phone or whatever. And I look over at him and I was just like, you're kind of a big deal.
Which is cool because, like,
And he just laughed and he just goes like,
he must have really appreciated that.
yeah, that was it. I just
Well,
left it just
and
at
now
that.
was
that was
he-
right there during that time. That was Talladega Nights. That was
Yeah.
like right when he was going off
Anchorman.
big-
But that leads into my question.
Okay.
At media, like, there's got to be, like, one, you don't want to do that and be disrespectful to the players. Like, when I snuck,
course.
I didn't sneak in, but I kind of did at the BMW over at Olympia, and I ate lunch next to Rory and Victor, but I didn't really say much to Rory. I just said, like, what's up, Roars? But, like, the dude's eating lunch. He's about to go on his 4th day. So, one, be cool and be respectful, but is there rules when it comes to media day when you're invited to this thing? No autographs, no selfies, or is it just kind of like, hey, it's up to you?
there are tons of rules.
Yeah.
Tons. When you're on a media credential, there are tons of rules. But things like pictures and autographs more live in like the unspoken rule category.
Yeah.
And it would just be very unprofessional
That's
and out
what
of
I
place to
thought.
do that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like over the last sort of 2 years of doing media pass stuff at golf tournaments that I was like, okay, I don't want to screw this up. When I read the rules, it said we have the right to revoke your media pass for this event and any future event. I'm like, okay, I don't want to screw this up forever. So I've always sort of played more on the conservative side and then kind of found where it is proper to take room and take place. So at all of the tournaments I've been to, every one of them, Ryder Cup, US Open, PGA Championship, Masters, everything in between, FedEx Cup, I have never once taken a picture with a player, asked for an autograph, any of those things.
And look at the karma that it brought. Made you have a Bryson DeChambeau whole hour video.
And then I got the autograph.
Then he got
Bingo.
the autograph.
Now, was Will Ferrell a seat and a half away because you were going on The Biggest Loser and you were taking up a seat and a half?
Wow.
No, the reason I said seat and a half is because we were like,
That's a gizmo line.
you know, like chairs were facing this way and then chairs were facing that way. So it was like an L shape of chairs.
Oh, okay.
So there was a little room between the L shapes so your knees don't hit.
I didn't know if it was a Biggest Loser joke or
No, Josh. No.
Question for you. So when
But
you were
thank you.
talking about TGL and things
Yeah.
moving like on the left and the right and behind when things are not
Yeah.
going, you can't see whatever. You said that they changed where the cup location is.
Yes.
So it's not just like set in the green and the green spins and they change the undulation.
There's,
Uh.
I believe, 7 cup holes to be used. And then they, of course, have like the little puck that fills it so it's smooth to putt over. But there are 7 different cup locations available. And the other thing, and I didn't notice this, like, I don't think anybody does, like who's taking the time? You know, they changed the flag on the pin for every hole.
Oh my gosh.
Do they really?
Yeah, there's a number. The number of the hole, like in golf, is on the flag. So if you pay attention or zoom in, that's what I do. Like, I don't even think anybody sees it, but they're still
That
doing
is
it.
Do you know
So
what
cool.
cracks me up is that they name every hole.
Yeah.
Every hole has a name, and it's like something like one was Boomerang. Like just like
Yeah.
weird names.
One was
that-
called like last week, like the Spear or something like that. Here's what's really cool. They have a ton of like fan experience stuff, like putting things, but outside of the building are these golf simulator trailers. And it's actually an investment of the parent company of TGL, Tomorrow Sports. They've invested in this mobile golf simulator company. So of course they're out there because it's sort of affiliated, but here's what's cool. These things are all up and running, these golf simulators, and you can go in there and play the holes for that
That's
night.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so these made up holes that are only for TGL. If you go, you can try your hand at,
Play 'em.
at one of
So
them. Yeah.
I would miss the entire media day because I'd be playing.
grinding. Gary's out there just grinding.
He's trying to get
Yeah.
course records over here. But I also had a question. Do you think Top Tracer is going to grab these courses and grab these holes and put them in their stuff for like
100%.
regular
That's a great
simulators?
question. I think so.
I think it would be a lot of fun. I think it'd be a killer promotional thing. I have no clue about like ownership and rights because Top Tracer is a part of Top Golf, which is a part of like the Callaway brand of
Oh.
corporations. But however, they use Top Tracer sensors to track the ball flight. So they have the full swing tracers, which are the radar, and then they have the Top Tracer sensors, which are like video based. And then they have 26 of these, and they all merge together. Here's what's crazy. SoFi Center's huge. You have like the arena in the middle, and then there's like a sort of like a concourse that goes like around it. But you can only go about halfway, and then you're kind of backstage, and that's where the media center is. That's where like the forklifts are parked and everything. They have a semi-truck trailer inside the building filled with computers and servers running all of this tech.
Oh wow.
And there are outside of it, you know, like, yeah, you see those dumb things where like they show like a Google server farm, and it's just like these like long hallways of these big racks that are just, they've got like 20 of those sitting outside the truck, just these server racks.
Huge racks.
Before it feeds all the stuff inside the truck. I tell you, they wouldn't let me go in there. They're like, I don't know, you're a little clumsy and trip on some HDMI cord and ruin this whole
Sweating
thing.
way too much. You're gonna drip all over the wires.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
One of the cool things too I thought about this week is I really liked the holes this week better than I liked week one. Like one of my favorite holes was the one that it looked like an hourglass that like kind of poked in and then shot out, and it was right at like, do you try and hit it really hard and clear that small part, or do you hit it short and play it safe? And then it was awesome because one of the guys hit it, cleared it, was fine. The other guy tried, missed it, pulled it just a little to the left, boom, right in the water. Like,
was it Kevin Kisner in one of his like 7 water shots?
Same with Tiger though too.
oh,
Well, and then Max Homa did it too. Like their whole team did
That was a
penalty balls.
technological error because you could see in Tiger's face. One, he was 100 yards away and he hits it 20 yards over the green. One, that is not what he does when he misses. That's way too far of a miss. And two, you could tell in his face that there was some kind of technological thing that he had to fix, and it will be fixed by next weekend.
But here's what's weird though. Sahith said in the post-round press conference that he said his adrenaline was so high that he was hitting everything. He needed a club down one. Everything was going a club longer. He had a club down. He said that one of his driver ball speeds was like 185, which is faster than he's ever hit a ball on any tour event.
Wow. That makes
yeah,
me feel good.
He talked about that night. He was like, because it was live, you hear him talking back and forth. And somebody's like, yeah, you just hit 184 balls. And he's like, 184? He's like, I've never hit 184 in tournament play, ever.
See, this is the part, because I didn't see the whole broadcast. I need to rewatch it, because like I've seen it from inside, but I've missed a lot of that stuff, which is sort of like the movie magic. And like you see cameras going around. Like at one point, I look up and I'm like filming around the room, and I look up and I was like, hey, there's all the guys from Good sitting directly across from me up on the top deck. And I'm like, oh, I can.
Oh, you sent that little video of that. You're like, oh, Good's here.
Yeah.
And Fat Perez is just like,
so like all of a sudden I see a camera go up there and they're interviewing him and they're all up there talking. I don't know if that was in the broadcast. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know where that went.
I didn't see it in there. I was also doing podcast stuff, pre-show stuff while I was watching it, so I wasn't like 100% locked in.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw was he, from that position, if not a little lower possibly, hit a chip shot or flop shot, whatever, onto the green and made it, and then posted on his TikTok.
Yeah.
They were like hitting off the top deck down onto
and then all the
it.
comments were like, this guy should be a YouTube trick shot guy. Like, he's pretty good.
People don't know what they're talking about.
Welcome to day one of internet golf.
Super facetious.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I know it's on the Rudda show. We're supposed to talk about it later, but the Kevin Kisner shot, like,
all right, we need to jump into this for a little bit.
Yeah, we're here.
The whole Jupiter team vibe, everything.
Oh my goodness,
dude, Kevin Kisner, first of all, struggled off the tee.
Yes,
right off the bat, off the tee. I don't know, like, of how many tee shots he hit, how many went straight out of bounds. I don't even know the total numbers. But it seemed like more than half. Like, I don't know. The way it seemed. But here is what I love. And I feel like that could have gone a lot of different ways. But Max Homa, in some way, brought like a laughing comedic relief that, again, I'm sitting in the stands. I don't know how it was televised, but just watching him, like, that ball goes, it says penalty across the screen, and Max is just laughing. He's just laughing. Like,
so it's cool to hear that you're hearing it, that was Max the one that started it, because I couldn't tell who started it. I just saw everybody laughing.
Yeah.
So it was Max that was like kind of the.
So that was my perception, because where I was sitting was I was like directly in line with like the player dugout area where they have their screens and their golf bags and their team sections. I was sitting straight across from that. So I kind of had this like straight on view to the players. And it to me seemed like Max Homa was just at this point where he's like, listen, we're all good golfers.
We're hanging with the boys.
Having a day. We've never done this. We don't know what's going on. We're starting to embarrass ourselves. And
it was like they're down by like 8 points.
Yeah. And then boom, another one in the water. It's like, oh my God.
Well, what was even worse?
can't.
What was even worse was the chip.
Which
Oh,
one?
yeah.
The one out of the bunker.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
when he skulled it like and it hits
Yes.
off of the flagpole so hard.
Dude,
Tiger lost his mind.
I've
Oh
never seen
my
Tiger lose it
It's
like that.
so fun to see Tiger have fun like that.
dead serious question. Have you ever seen any video or anything of Tiger Woods laughing to the point of crying?
No.
Like I've seen some really, but not crying.
Not that point where it was just, he was gone. He
Yeah.
lost it. The show was gone.
It
He
was
was
the
over.
best. It was
And,
the best.
and everyone
You know what was
was
crazy is after he skulls it and like just right off the flagpole.
Yeah.
Homa goes and hits an amazing.
Oh, he almost
shot
made
and
it.
Almost sinks it.
Yeah,
Yep.
he like touched all of the cup you could touch, and then it went out.
Wait, no,
Well, I
it-
think, no, that was
no,
Kisner.
that was Kisner.
Oh, it was Kisner?
That was during the
it was
solo.
his follow-up shot. He blades it out of the sand, hits off the flagstick, rolls off the green. Kisner goes back. It's still him hitting, and he chips it and almost
made it.
rolls it straight in.
Well,
I thought that was Homa hitting.
the only other video
No.
of
No, that was
Tiger
during
that
solos.
really shows Tiger's like he's a bro type is
Yeah.
when Justin Thomas is walking past Tiger and Tiger goes, "I'll see you at the former winners lunch tonight." Oh, I forgot you haven't won here. And he goes like this. He goes and makes this face. And I've screen recorded every section. And I'm like, look at that. That's hilarious. Tiger's got to be one of the coolest people to hang out with too.
I love that he said, Tiger in the press conference last night, he was like, I feel like tonight was a great opportunity for people to see how bad pro golfers can be. Like, but it is so true. I mean,
But they have everything
Gary-
perfectly aligned when they go the tee time. Who picks them?
let's go back 1 week.
Yeah, let's go back 1 week.
Gary and I participated in an indoor tournament. We were super pumped. We went and played the course a few times. We practiced. This was on Saturday last week. Friday we go. We play our league round, and then we like kind of get dialed for this tournament that's going to be the next day. We were shooting lights out. I'm dead serious. I'm sure you've played better, but we have never played better than we
so
were
fun.
that Friday night.
Oh, to like because we had one thing is like this guy was like, "Oh, Gary's here.
Yeah.
Like, let's go watch
We had-
Gary play golf."
Dude, it was so good. The next night, we come in to now play the tournament that we'd been prepping for a week, and I played like dog shit. What happened?
Well,
What, like,
we did so well the day before because like what did you shoot 69 on the full swing and then But here's another thing though, we're also playing white tees at the one course which was
dude,
Pinehurst.
I couldn't make proper contact with my irons.
Well,
My driver was all over the place. It was just so. Either way, what I'm saying is like
It matters.
That's what Tiger Woods is talking about. Like, listen, we're pros. Like, we're not here because we had this one fluke round and we like won a drawing out of a hat. Like, no, we all have. Every player in this entire league comes from a phenomenal career, whether it's current, a little bit ago, a long time ago, wherever it is. Every single person has made their mark in golf. They are incredible golfers, but yet here. You have the entire Jupiter team hitting balls out of bounds left and right, laughing, blading it off the stick, coming up short on 100-yard shots. It's like in some weird way, because it was at that point, it was less than a week prior, it was 4 days prior that I had the same thing happen. And I'm not trying to say I'm the same thing. I'm just saying like, it's just this weird thing.
It definitely, like, say you go to a tournament and like you're in your own head, and golf to me is consistently trying to talk to yourself about what you want to do in a calm manner, understanding your emotional thing, which then translates into your tempo, which then translates into your, your production of golf shots.
Yeah.
And like these guys are for the first time ever, there's like, I know they've been to live or whatever, but like there's louder music. They're talking in between shots. They're not moving around as much. They're not in their own little worlds anymore. So now they're hitting shots like amateurs because guess what? They have the amateur distractions coming into play.
Justin Rose talked about that. He last night in the press conference, he said, you know what? He goes, historically in my career, he goes, I've always been everyone quiet, please. Stop rustling. He said, stop rustling your bag of crisps.
Wrestling.
Your bag of crisps.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever. He goes, and now here we are. People are screaming. They're like heckling a little sometimes if they're rooting for the other team. There's music, there's lights. He goes, he said this. He goes, I think this will be really good for me.
Yeah, because 100%.
Right. He goes, it is causing me to mentally push through my process because there's that countdown clock. I can't have my caddy go over, quiet them down, get a couple security guards, look at my putt. It's like, no, the heartbeat thing's going and I've got, 10 seconds left.
Which then I think they're going to respect amateur golfers a little bit better when, because that's how we are. Like, dude, the amount of times we got to wait on this or that. Or
you were like a golf cart's just flying by while you're putting.
What cracked me up, though, is when they started going, Charlie, you want to come in?
Did they? I didn't hear that.
They were like, Charlie, you want a sub? And then they're like, where's Tom Kim at?
Dude.
It was
so
one of them
was talking about the quote pep talk that they got from Charlie during the halftime or during
Did
the
they
break.
really?
Yeah,
What did they say?
So he's like, Charlie's like, yeah, it basically made fun of it. He's like, you guys are playing terrible. So I don't know if it was a pep talk or what it was.
Dude, there was one point where I saw it. I think it was on Instagram because again, I didn't see the whole broadcast yet, but I need to, whatever. There's parts I missed, but where Tiger hit some shot, it goes in the water. They cut to Charlie's face, and Charlie just basically is mouthing the words like, "What is he doing?"
Yes.
Yeah. Like he's just like befuddled. Like,
and what's the status? Like 1 out of every 5 shots from 100 yards, Tiger will miss the green. So
yeah,
it is like for him to miss it that hard though. That was definitely a technical
They
error,
did say that they were 20 yards longer on every wedge shot than they normally are.
So do you think that was an increase of emotion that he did that, or is it a technical error? Well, after hearing about the semi thing, I think it was just an increased thing of emotion.
That's what I think. It's hitting off different surfaces. It's crazy adrenaline. It's all this stuff. Tiger Woods is like this stoic in my own world, sort of like Tiger mode guy. And now all of a sudden, like I'm the leader of this team I own that is a part of this organization I own, which is built into this parent company that I started. And this is all on TV and it's never happened before. And they're playing Eye of the Tiger and all this stuff. Like he's never had walk-up music, at the Masters.
I wonder how much that costed him to get that song.
Oh, dude, I can't even imagine.
They probably paid him.
So again, like Justin Rose was saying, maybe there are qualities of this that will be a good takeaway. Like I'm making mental adjustments for outdoor golf because of what I've learned here in this indoor golf.
And that's what
and I think you're
go ahead, Rich.
I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on with it being the emotion level.
Yeah.
Because it was, first of all, we've seen it with 2 teams, both got blown out.
Yeah.
But 2 teams played really, really well.
Right.
So that means, because if it was a technical, if all 6 players out there were hitting 20 yards over every single time,
right.
Okay, then it's a technical issue. But it's not. It was only one team that wasn't handling the emotions very well, and the other team was handling it obviously great. And both week 1 and 2, we got to see the same thing again. I'm excited for when, like week 3, 4, or something like that. As soon as both teams are dialed,
yeah,
and like now we're like getting into the strategy. Like we haven't even talked about it, but the hammer. I love the hammer idea.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, Tiger Woods coming out, his first shot of the day, first shot of TGL. And he just steps up and throws the hammer.
He goes, I got to do it.
Yeah,
and
I was just like, dude. I was like, that was so fun.
I feel like
what do you mean?
There needs to be a real hammer.
What are you talking about?
So the hammer is the name of this sort of like gambling device. It's like a flag, kind of like in football, like the flag on the play kind of a thing, where the players can throw the hammer and it basically doubles the risk of this hole. So now we're playing for 2 points because I threw the hammer. And it might be like, let's say you hit a bad chip shot and you've got a really long putt, whatever, and I'm in a good spot. I might throw the hammer.
Nice.
Now you have the option to accept the challenge, and now we're playing for 2 points instead of 1, or you can decline the challenge and you concede the hole and give me the 1 point.
Let's do that before we play. And I'm we have so many.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw it down and be like, back tees.
I wonder
no.
I wonder if they'll actually go to a hammer though, rather than a flag.
Here's the thing, though.
I don't know.
I want to say
how would they carry it?
You saying about Justin Thomas talking about how they're talking like trash a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. When I'm golfing, this is supposed to be a gentleman's game, respectful game, and a ladies' game, respectful. And if I'm going for a big putt and you're talking trash and like before I'm like, and I'm in my pre-shot routine, 1, how disrespectful are you? 1, how undisciplined are you to not be quiet? And where's your respect? Because we're going for, and that is my number one biggest thing I have to deal with, I feel, as an amateur golfer that's good.
Are you referring to fans heckling
friends.
or players?
Like when you're playing with your buddies,
Yeah.
like I don't, it don't bother me too much. But man, if I'm in the zone and I don't want to mess around. I want to be serious and I want to act like because acting like a pro on the course helps you tremendously. And to care and to have only one thought process, which is where's my line? What's the undulation? How hard do I need to hit this? What club? Blah, blah. But then when you're going back, as I'm putting, I'm thinking about, wow, that guy was super disrespectful. Why can't he just, like, does he want to see good shots? I want to see him do good shots. And, like, that's what I'm thinking about rather than my putt line. And that's what screws up a lot of my rounds sometimes. But to hone it and then use it for good is a skill set that you have to, like, acquire over time. And it shouldn't be something
iron sharpening iron sort of a thing. It's like, I have to be tortured to be good at deflecting this torture.
Yeah.
One of the things that was also talked about in the press conference, and I don't remember who was saying it, if it was Max Homa, if it was Tiger, I don't remember. But what they were talking about was sort of this mental balance of entertaining but competing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we're on TV. There's nothing else going on but us. We need to make a good program, so we have to be entertaining. We've got to throw little one-liners in. We've got to, but at the same time, we need to perform well. And they were talking about just sort of that balance in their minds of kind of fighting between those two things and which one do I do more and then which one do I potentially abandon if it's not going well.
I will say the first 2 weeks, there hasn't really been serious golf.
No, because the blowout happened too early and there was just no coming back.
I would like to see how it would be when it's tight.
Oh, it comes down 5-5.
Yeah.
Someone's throwing a hammer and this is going to, this here settles this entire match.
Throwing the hammer is the best.
Like you're down 2 and you throw or you're down 1.
Yeah.
And then to take the lead, you throw the hammer.
Yeah, well, it's like pulling your goalie. You know what I mean? It's like, listen, this game's over.
I'm proud of you.
I didn't know you knew that.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
I grew up playing hockey.
Did you?
Yeah, I played roller indoor.
All right.
For probably 3
Still
years.
Still proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
What position?
We all sucked. It was like a local whatever thing. So like we'd play forwards, we'd play defense. I never was goalie, whatever. Rich played a little hockey. He knows about it.
It's fun. I mean, roller hockey, no ice hockey or anything. I can't ice skate. I can rollerblade very well, but I can't ice skate.
I bet you if you had a stick in your hand, you would skate a little better balance.
Okay.
I agree.
That sounded weird, but all right.
I was going to say his mouth, but.
Jesus. Show's gone.
Yikes. Jesus.
All right. So, Josh, you were telling me a little bit about some of these televised interviews that I missed.
Yeah.
And what were some of the standout ones to you? Because I don't know anything about these.
Poor Serena Williams.
I didn't even, true story, I didn't know she was there.
So
I had no clue she was even in the building.
She's the co-owner of the LA Golf Club.
Yeah, they have a lot of investors for the LA Golf Club. And so I don't think she's like a majority stake, but she's part of it.
I don't remember who was doing the interview. Like, it was the main guy that was doing the color commentating. But she's getting asked all these questions about golf.
Like technical golf stuff? Or was it about like the production? Or
it was
a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
And, Serena Williams is the GOAT of tennis.
Of course.
Women's tennis.
She's the GOAT of tennis. But at the same
women's
time,
tennis.
Remember that Pete McElroy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the first question that was asked, and this should have steered the whole interview, whole conversation. How often do you golf? She goes, I golf every once in a while. I'd rather play.
Right. So
she'd
now
rather play
this
tennis.
sets the tone.
Sets the tone
of how, if she's like, I play 3 days a week. You're like, oh, let's go nuts. Let's get crazy.
And like, she's getting asked these questions, and all she could do is kind of like, when you're like silent and you're trying to think of something like on the fly. That's what it seemed like. And
like when you're a kid and you're in trouble.
Well,
and
her
you're
best
like,
response should have been like, I don't know.
Luckily, she's good friends with Tiger Woods and knows her golfers that are on her team that she owns.
They're all from the same goat farm.
And
thank you.
And all her answers were about the team and about the players on her team, because I feel like that's the only thing she was able to answer. But it was just the way that the interview went.
Yeah.
Where I was just like,
they like hung her out to dry.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, wait a second. Let's kind of settle this down a little, keep it friendly, keep it fun, and back to you, Tom.
And then you missed.
So here's a question. What do you think was better? Do you think the Serena Williams interview or the DJ Khaled interview from week 1?
I didn't see the DJ Khaled interview.
Okay. I don't remember it. Was it weird? Tell me about it, Rich.
Well, I mean, it's DJ Khaled, so
course.
it's always weird because
It's
it just
Gatorade.
is. But I would say I felt like at least the DJ Khaled interview, I thought, I'd hate to admit this, but I think it was actually a little better. Just
He
because
is obsessed with golf. He is
Yes.
personally obsessed.
and it also wasn't as long. Like she had like a 15, 20-minute segment, it seemed like.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Or it felt like it.
Yeah. Well, probably. Yeah.
Rich, do you feel the same way I did about it? Like after watching it?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Like it was the segment was too long. It should have been like an on the mic interview, like just camera mic while she's in her seat, not a whole come around, sit and talk to whoever the announcer guy was and stuff like that. But I will say I liked the announcer better this week than I did last week. Again, making those tweaks. He's coming along, making it better.
One of the things they talked about, I forgot who was, but they said he was sort of left in a position, like the guy at the desk, like at the booth, that
Yep.
he was sort of left in a position where he had to carry more of the show than I think he had anticipated or they did, but they were just, we're do it live, kind of a thing. And
Yes.
so it was a conversation I was sort of overhearing. There's so much going on, but that was sort of mentioned. And I thought that was interesting that again, you're talking about making changes, making these adjustments. And they felt like, however, because there wasn't as much player talk. So those guys weren't filling the space that I think the producers had thought would be filled. So that was left to him. I think this week, these guys had a lot more going on, the fun, the laughing, the chaos, the terrible shots, all that. But again, it's the weekly adjustments that I think are going to keep making this thing cooler and cooler as it goes.
And you know what else is cool is the pop of how many celebrities and big names go to these things.
So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was there.
Yeah.
I had no
That's
idea.
kind of cool.
Like I wish I knew where, just to be like, oh, I walked past him, I bumped into him. I didn't know DJ Khaled was there. I didn't know Serena Williams was there. I didn't know DJ Khaled was there. Theo Epstein was
No way.
Jeffrey Epstein's brother.
Oh God! I thought
No.
Theo,
No.
like Theo,
No, he's the owner of Fenway Sports Group, which is the Boston Red Sox, and they now own Liverpool Football Club.
Well, you're
And-
never going to a Red Sox game.
Well, and don't they also own one of the TGL teams?
The Boston, I think,
Boston Commons.
I believe so. I'm not 100%, but I believe so.
Which, speaking of Boston Commons, Keegan Bradley was in the house with his
Yes, he
power
was.
mustache.
Nice.
And it was fun. That was one of the interviews I caught, I think, when I went back into the media center and we had these little earpieces. It was fun. But he was just talking about, he's like, I'm learning so much by sitting here and just watching it happen. Like, he's like, I feel like I'm going to be so much more prepared because, yeah, I've come here and hit and we've all practiced and kind of done some run throughs to learn how the system works. He goes, but to sit here as a spectator and go, oh, I see where I'm supposed to be. I see how the interactions are supposed to go. I see what's working and what's not. And I thought that was cool. I just thought, for him to take that time and just sit in for one, was pretty cool on his part. Which, speaking of, in 2 weeks, Tiger's team is playing again against the Boston Commons Rory McIlroy's team.
Tiger.
So we're going to have a Tiger versus Rory showdown in 2
Rory.
weeks.
Do you think it's weird that next week, who's one of the teams that played the first week's already playing again? Do you think it's weird that they didn't have two?
Well, wait a second. There's 6 teams total.
Yeah.
So by week 3, if there's 2 teams playing each week, wouldn't that have to happen?
No, it'd be week 4. 6 teams, 2-2-2.
Oh, yeah, right.
Your shoes are on. You're okay.
Yeah. Well, because if you do math, I'm not good at it.
So, Dan, is that the 28th that they're playing, or is it the 4th?
I don't even know what day it is today.
But today's the 15th. So
Wednesday.
I think if you're saying it's in 2 weeks, I think the calendar is showing me it's the 28th, which I'm so disappointed because I'm super excited. The 4th, we're going back.
We'll pull up the calendar. See, is there like a weekly lineup? You can see who's playing the week where we'll be down there.
I think whoever who played, it was the Bay and
Atlanta, wasn't it?
Was it Atlanta? It was no. It was
Atlanta
shot New
Drive.
York. New York.
Oh, that's right.
I
It was
think.
New
I
York.
think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna.
yeah, yeah.
I think it's New York next week, and someone else.
All I
New
keep
York is
thinking of-
Ricky Fowler's team. My guy, Mr.
I don't want to say
Cobra.
this on my chance of not getting ever invited, but when you sent me that video of Garrett, like if you were to be like, "Hey, there's Garrett Clark up there," and then went to like do
But
this,
where
to
did Gary go?
it'd be like, "Hi, Dad." I'm already up there, like hanging out.
Well,
Because 100% that way.
thankfully, there's security for crazy fans and Gary.
Not a crazy fan, just chill.
And
No,
Gary.
I
wanna-
said
I
and
just want to
Gary.
play him in with his
In
buddies.
and anything.
Two.
Uno.
I could hit 2 balls. They could have 3 guys, and we play a scramble and see if I could beat them with my 2 versus their 3.
On good.
Yes, 100%. You
Dude,
get
you
me in
get
the
your-
zone.
you get your
I don't
ass
think
kicked.
you understand who I am with golf sometimes.
Well, but also, hitting a second
Second
shot is
automatically.
far different than having
Well,
a teammate
Josh
hit
likes to
player-
rile
their
up.
first shot.
Josh
Player
is a
B
plus
always
2.
plays better than player A.
Absolutely. So
Absolutely, because you instantly learn what happened and go, oh, it needs more, it needs less, higher, lower, whatever.
and
You
I
just
don't want to be
make that instant
cocky,
adjustment.
but I want to just let you know, like I try to be as humble as I can for golf, but when somebody that can't get past the red tees tells me I can't do something,
Hey,
I get a little aggressive.
I could get it way past the red tees now.
How about this? We'll do a competition. I'll give you 5 aside and play you one-handed.
What's 5 aside?
So you get
Strokes.
10 shots total.
Like front 9, you get 5, back 9, you get 5. You get 5 aside.
And you're
And
playing
I'll play
one-handed.
one-handed. And we're going to play all the rules.
What do you mean all the
Putt
rules?
it out, no moving it. You're out of bounds, re-tee. If you go in the water, you got to drop at the point of entry unless it's in front of you, which is a re-tee. All of them.
Do you accept this challenge,
Yeah.
Josh? What are the stakes?
Whatever you want.
Stakes.
Oh, all right, let's do stakes. I'll bring you to Prime and Provisions in Chicago.
Josh
pay
is a
for-
big beef guy.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll all go out and have a steak dinner. But if you lose, which you will, you got to pick the place.
love it. Where would you pick, Josh?
Primal
Okay,
cut and tinning.
all right. If you win, you pick where you go. Where are you picking?
Prime and Provisions.
Where are you picking, Josh?
Oh, I have no clue.
You
Off the
can't
top of
bring
your
me
head,
to like
go
the
to-
McDonald's, like Outback franchise.
Well, no. Why
steakhouse
would you?
either.
Gary would be paying, so you would pick. Like, what do you think you would pick? Like, what's your favorite higher quality place to go to?
Like hibachi.
Okay. How about you? You got it.
Like where they're banging out everything. All right, that'd be fun.
All right, so I looked up the schedule here. So the next week, the 21st, is New York Golf Club versus Atlanta Drive Golf Club.
Got it.
GC, I'm assuming is golf club. Yeah.
JT's team.
Then we have the 27th. This is the big week you're talking about. It's Juniper Links versus Boston Common. And then the week that we're going to go back, which is February 4th, is going to be Boston Common versus Los Angeles. So that means Rory's going to be there playing
Ooh.
when we're there.
Yeah, and that'll be the Morikawa, Sahith, and either Tom Kim or Justin Rose. You know, I don't know, any 3 of those 4. It was interesting. I was sitting next to Bob Herrig of Sports Illustrated, and when the press conference ended, the guys were walking off stage, and he just says to Justin Rose, he's like, hey, Rosie, he was like, how come you didn't play Dubai or whatever it was? I don't know if that was last weekend or next weekend. I don't even know what day today is. But he was like, he's like, did you have to pick between the 2? You couldn't play the one because you had to come here. And he was like, no. As you know, Tommy Fleetwood, my guy,
Tommy.
lives in Dubai. So it just made
Does he
more
really?
sense. I didn't know that.
I had
I'm
no
like
idea.
listening. I'm learning everything.
That is
right now.
crazy.
He was like, Tommy Fleetwood lives in Dubai now. It made more sense for him to stay home and play that. And then for me to get to Dubai and then him leave Dubai and come here. He said, plus, he goes, I'm now entering my my America swing. He goes, so I'm trying to get settled in here because I want to stay here for the next X amount of weeks, probably leading up to Masters and everything else. But I thought, like, it's so interesting. Like these, like, dynamics, like this little like stuff going on. Like, oh, Tommy Fleetwood lives in Dubai, so he'll stay there and I'll come play here because I'm trying to spend more time in America right now and get ready for sort of going into the main part of the PGA Tour. And it's just like, this is so fun.
I
This is just so
I
fun.
love this new thing Tiger's got. I love talking about with you guys. I think it's great. But do we have like 20 more points, or are we just doing?
Oh, dude, I am. If we stay on TGL, I am throwing away the other half.
Yeah,
of the
I think
show.
so. Yeah.
Before we get off TGL,
Yeah.
I did look up a few different stats. So now since week 2 happened,
Gary,
week
don't
1,
move the show along.
hold on, Gary, hold on. So the week 1 stats for the TV ratings, because we now know what they are. So it got a 0.5 rating, which I don't know what that means.
Don't know what that means.
But no, it means. But I got to point out. But what they did have was 919,000 person viewership average for the entire time. Week 1. This is all week 1 numbers.
Yeah.
That's what it peaked at 1.1 million peak, and that was between 9:15 and they held it all the way through 10:30.
Wow.
So really big numbers. What's cool is now that week 2 they moved it back an hour more into prime time. It's going to be fun to see, did they get more numbers for week 2? You know, I feel like it's probably going to go up a little bit.
Dude, wait, real quick, because this is exactly on topic. Last night it ran long for whatever reason, and it cut into, I think, like the Duke game or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here, it was funny. Max Homa was in the press conference after it. He was like, they were just laughing. He was like, I can't imagine that anyone stayed tuned in for this insane thing. And then Max jumps in. He's like, well, no. We might have caught some Duke fans that thought the game was on.
Did you didn't hear him during the telecast probably, but
probably not.
He was saying like during they were playing, he's like, I wonder what the Duke score is right now.
Jeez.
He's just like inciting that like
the one I did hear him say, he said, are they going to kick us out of this league?
No, are we going to get relegated?
Because they're so bad?
Yeah.
My favorite part about this is like a nostalgic memory that you just brought up that I forgot about. My dad would record every single golf on a VHS back in the day. The game.
Yeah.
And so he would always have college basketball before, and they would always go into overtime. And I would laugh my butt off as a little kid because he couldn't watch. And then half the golf was like not over, but you know what I mean.
Would he record all 4 days of a tournament or just the Sunday? Or?
Probably all 4. I mean, we have it's insane.
Your dad, I've only met him a few times. What a sweet guy.
Sweetheart.
I love your dad so much. He's a wonderful man. He has a very genuine, deep appreciation for golf.
Yes, he does.
For pro golf. I love that about him. I think that's so fun.
And when I was 12, I wrote that letter for Cog Hill because they were doing the Western Open, and I took second out of everybody in America, and we got free tickets for the entire week. And then a really nice young man that had a handicap whose dad was going to go pro that couldn't go pro because he had to take care of this young man because of his physical ailments. They won, and he got to play in a pro-am with Raymond Floyd.
Wow.
So that's cool. I like that. But it's kind of nice that I was like, my dad watches golf with a cardboard cutout of Freddie Couples. He records.
He stands it up next to him.
I watch mine with Tiger. So anyways, moving on.
Do
I'm going to get a cardboard.
Oh my God. Yeah. You think I had to walk past that thing? Oh, what's up, Tiger?
I'm going to get a cardboard cutout of Gary. That's what I want to watch golf with.
But that it's just cool because it was good times.
All right, Rich, I interrupted you. You were giving us some stats. Please continue.
So to kind of reference how many people, because I don't know, is 1.1 million. Is that a lot? Is that a little? I don't really know. So it actually had more viewers than things like the PGA Tour of Champions.
Wow.
Last month when they did the showdown with Rory, Scotty, Bryson, and Brooke, it beat that out. It also, in the 2 years of live golf, it actually had more viewers at one time than Live ever had during the 2 years on CW.
This is Tiger's second shot at it.
And is there a stat on? Didn't it beat NBA?
Good.
During that time too.
That just means we're gonna get this for a long time.
I'm sure it did. I didn't see what the breakdown of that was, but I sure hope it did. I mean, nobody watches NBA anymore, do they? It's terrible.
I never did, so I don't know.
I only watched when Jordan, and I got to see him play 5 times. So
Family friend of mine just sent me a text last night. He was sitting courtside right behind the bench.
That's kind of
the
fun,
Bulls
though.
game.
I would do that. If you gave me courtside, I'd go.
Dead serious. I don't know that I could name a single Bulls player.
I couldn't name one. I have no idea.
Actually, I probably nah.
Couldn't name a single Bears player.
Zach LaVine.
To me, he sounds like an accountant. I don't know.
I thought Adam Levine was a singer. Just kidding,
Thank
Josh.
Brandon Marshall?
Yeah, they
No,
used to
I
be
know
a bear.
Marshall. Yeah,
He used to
that's
be a bear.
Anyways, moving on.
I don't know who that is either, but he was there. He was in the house.
He was at TGL?
Yeah.
Josh put it in the notes. I missed this.
Yeah, I saw him there.
Oh, that's awesome.
More of the star-studded event there. You know, I asked in the press conference to the what is it, Jupiter Golf Links? Is that their
Yeah.
full? Yeah. I asked the Jupiter Golf Links team. I said, "All right, boys, what's the plan going forward after tonight?" I'm
After
like,
being terrible.
yeah, I said, you know, are you guys sneaking in here, coming in at midnight, grinding it out? Is there like, you know, I don't know, lucky rabbit's foot? Like what do we do going forward? And I need to pull the clip from it because Max Homa gave this incredibly long, elaborate, ridiculously funny answer. But that is what I was hoping for the whole time.
A little bit more personality. Get to know these guys.
The Twitter Max Homa.
Yeah.
Like that's the one.
Because
cool.
didn't
I like
last
Homa.
time
What'd
he
he
tried
say?
to say something to him and he didn't do any, like, didn't have a single reaction to it?
That was at the FedEx Cup, and it went terrible. It went horrific. He shot like 12 over. He was signing autographs for the little kids because he's not going to say no. And I walked up to him with a camera, and I was trying to do this like cool little like on the fly video at the FedEx Cup. And I was like, "Hey, Max, come." I was like, "Hey, what's your favorite go-to beer after a round of golf?" Dead serious. He's like signing a kid's like whatever hat, and he's just like. I was just like, "We'll see you later.
Bye, Max.
Take care now." We've
Read
gotta
the room, Dan. Read the room.
read the room.
I swear, I'm waiting for the day where you're in a press conference and some guy who's a traditionalist, like analyst for golf,
Yeah, which
Here's
is the
some-
whole room.
hears what you say and just like, get this guy out of here.
Yeah. He's talking about salty balls at the U.S. Open.
How dare he change his monotone to that?
Yeah, get him out of here. Like I can see it. Like like they're trying to like shun me or like kick me out of the town, and they're like have torches, and they're like, get him out of here.
Almost like citizen arrest.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Do we have anything else from TGL? Is there anything else I missed? Any other questions you had, Rich? Did we kind of get through a lot of that? I don't want to leave any stone unturned, but I also feel like we could go on forever, and we're going to talk about this probably every week because it's fun and we love
Yeah,
it.
I just
especially
wanna know-
now.
I just want to know where I'm going to hit on the screen because you're 60 feet back?
There's 2 tee boxes, and I already forgot the distance.
Okay,
It's
because like
60
there's
and
a
40. I think.
very distinctive way I look at the screen when I'm playing simulator golf.
So what they do is the ball, as soon as the ball's dropped, they they put it at the hole.
No, I get
So
that.
they adjust, it adjusts automatically when you
No.
drop the ball.
Gary's talking about on the physical screen, he picks like a dot and then tries to hit the ball into the
Oh.
dot.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't do that.
So, and then like I know where my hand, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is where my hands need to be on the transition down. This is where they need to be in the pocket. Blah 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 blah. This is my miss. So like when you got something that's even further back, like am I picking out an intermediary spot halfway there, or am I like picking out a spot but then picking just a little bit lower because it's going to take time to travel? So I have to add that in. So this is some
Well,
things.
I think that the day I realized that you and I process indoor golf very differently was I was in a bad spot. I had to kind of get out of some trees, and you're like, hit that part of the screen. There's this and that going on, and if you can, maybe put a draw or fade or whatever on it, whatever it was. And I was like, I don't think about where my ball hits the screen. I know that this much power will go that much distance. I know if I set up like this and swing like that, I can hit some draws, some fade, or maybe pray for a straight ball. But I have no clue where a 180-yard fade hits this screen. Like I've never thought about that. I didn't consider that. I just, here's my line.
well, especially
I want to go
when
180
you
yards,
were
and I
in the
want it to be this
woods.
shape.
Yeah, because you were in the woods, and if you hit part of the screen but there's no like leaves or sticks, obviously that's the sky right there. So you're gonna get
No,
past that.
It makes total sense. It was like a realization that I didn't even think about it that
And then
way.
which is fun, and that's why I love talking golf with you because like you open up a door of things that I never even think about. And then like the other day when we're chipping, I was like, well, it's 60 feet. You're like, it says 20 yards. Why do you do it in feet? I'm like, once it gets to 25 yards, I think of it in feet because like a chip is so much like a putt that I'm bringing my hands through the chip like a putt, so that I'm able to decipher it a little bit more easy for some reason.
It's putter is feet, everything else is yards.
Yeah.
but that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But chipping in feet is like a chipping in Spanish or something. Like I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like I didn't even calculate.
When you're at the British Open, is it in meters?
Yeah, Gary, I want you to start chipping in meters.
I can't do that
Is that fine?
conversion.
Yeah.
I'm an American. I have no idea a metric. I'm too stupid.
And then you get into those like indoor lies where it's like, yeah, but it's coming off at 72% of meters. Like I'm gone. I'm just gone.
I do have a TGL question, and it's kind of out there.
All right.
What happens if you sail the green?
Straight to jail.
No. Okay.
All right.
Off to the clinker.
No. You sail the green on the simulator.
Okay.
And there's still a whole bunch of room, and they probably already thought about this, but you notice how if you're walking back towards the green, you only kind of have that front area for a lot of room. What if you sail it over it? Like on your simulator
It hits
shot.
whatever behind it.
Are you gonna shoot at the simulator, or are you like still placing it like in the crowd?
My guess would be, and I have no clue, is they would spin the green and still put you on the side with more room.
Oh, okay.
That would be my guess. I don't know.
Because I thought about that today. I'm like, I wonder what happens if they get in a spot where it's not far enough to be a simulator shot, but it's far enough to be out of that area.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go ahead,
Dan,
Rich. Go ahead. Yeah,
when Kisner hit it,
yeah,
like he just skulled it, like
blasted the flag stick.
It's so great because it gives me hope.
Yeah.
So if it did not hit the stick, could it have went in the crowd and like taken somebody's eye out?
Well,
I genuinely think so.
that would have been a
really
souvenir.
do. Yeah.
A souvenir to the fans.
There was at one point when I was getting this tour, like there was one other person with me, and this person played zero golf. They've never been to a golf tournament or anything like that before, and she had asked that question, and she was, "What happens like if a ball goes in the crowd and somebody gets hit?" I'm like,
They got to sign a golf glove.
I was like, well, I mean, here's what happens. You're thankful that you're not at a regular golf tournament getting hit by driver because that's not possible. So you're getting hit by like a shorter distance club, and you get a free glove with an autograph because that's the way it goes. So thank you, Gary. Yeah, I don't know. I do believe. Okay, mark my words. Here's my bet. This is what I'm sliding my chips forward on.
It will happen.
We will see a ball go into the crowd before the end of this season.
Oh, definitely.
Guaranteed. Gotta happen.
Think about. I feel
Almost
so
happened
bad.
last night.
Yes.
Garrett Clark, when he laid that driver out, I felt so bad for that kid.
Oh, when he blasted the fan at their
genuinely
event.
felt horrible.
He
did.
still gets a lot of flack on that from
Which he
all his
doesn't
buddies.
deserve, dude. Like, I mean, to hit perfect like that every time. Like, we don't have one shot out of like 6 months that do that. Of course we do.
Dude, even when I go to these tournaments, and usually the days leading up, there's like a pro-am or two. And so, of course, like any pro-am, you get one pro and 3 to 4 ams who get to play with that pro. It's a lot of fun. You get to walk and talk to them, get to know them, great time. So some of these favorite pros get people out to the pro-am, like filling the tee boxes, and then the pro hits. But then here comes the ams. I'm like, why you like move?
Do you know how
Like, don't stay there. Like, you don't want. This is a terrible idea. You got to move.
Do you know how scared I was when I saw Ninja hit off the tee box with everyone right next to him?
Oh, Live Golf Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Especially off the first swing I saw.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I'm glad I'm
breakfast
kind
bowl.
of out of the way.
Oh my God. Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know. That is a risk I'm not willing to take, is to stand directly like forward and just off the path of a novice golfer who's about to swing as hard as they can on the biggest club in their bag. Not a chance. I want to be 90 degrees or farther. Like, that's it. Like, whatever. Like,
What's your go-to when somebody's not too great and you are in front of them? There is a chance. Because my go-to is just.
Oh, I've seen him cover up in the cart.
Because you're not getting my teeth, you're not getting my eyes, you're not getting my nose, and you're not getting down there. So I'm just like, with everything else, I'll be kind of okay. I
Just
feel.
move. Like, don't stand.
Yeah, don't
there.
move. Yeah, but sometimes it's like.
There's just, you end up in a weird spot where, like, I was looking for my ball and I came walking back, and then now they're hitting, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm in a zone that's possible, and you just kind of like just hit.
Well, my favorite thing is when you and Corn were hitting what do we call them? Yard balls.
I love when you just bring up random names
that nobody knows about.
Nobody knows. It's just conversational. Yeah, but go on. Tell us about our friend Corn from the driving range.
Yeah, they were out hitting yard balls, and I'm just hitting over their head, and like people were walking by, they're like, aren't they afraid? They're like, they trust me.
Yeah.
That's good times. Pat myself on the back for the compliment.
Pat's self on back.
It's black and blue back there.
Let's take some early predictions. Do you think that Tiger's team, Jupiter Golf Links, is going to come back strong and like send a message because of the way week 1 went? Or do you think that this just isn't really Tiger's jam and where he performs best? Kevin Kisner is like a reporter now and only a halftime player. Like, do you think their team is just sort of more going to be the fun, funny team, or they're going to kind of get like competitively pissed off and show back up and do something? Predictions.
I think that Tiger's going to fall into this like having fun mode, and he's going to be great, and he's going to learn how to like balance everything at the same time as playing. And he doesn't have to be the Terminator. And I'm never not going to not root against Tiger, or I'm always going to root for Tiger. So Tiger's coming back. And also you said Tiger Jam. If that's ever a thing, I will sell my soul to you if I can find it to go to Tiger Jam.
Wait, what's Tiger Jam?
You've never heard of Tiger Jam? Every year in Vegas, Tiger has Tiger Jam, and he does a clinic, and then everybody plays golf. And I don't know if he travels around to every foursome and plays one hole with them, but he plays like a majority golf with different people. And then at night, they all play poker. It's like my bucket list of bucket list things to do ever. Let's go to Tiger
I wonder
Jam.
what that buy-in is for that poker.
Yeah, the poker is like, that's not even going to happen because like I can't even know.
I feel like it all depends on their next match, because there's only 6 games in the season. There's only so many points you could get, only so many points you could gain. So I feel like if they get dusted this next game, this next match they have, I feel like they're just gonna go out there and have a good time.
Maybe I'm okay with that too.
Which leads a good play.
I just want to see one tight match.
I would rather see Tiger
tight.
laughing, people sculling, and have this be absolutely crazy, something that we've never seen. Because it's going to bring people to golf, because a lot more people are like, oh, I relate to that.
I brought something back.
I mean, I think. Well,
yes, Rich?
Yeah,
my prediction. My prediction
Oh,
before
yeah,
you
your
talk
prediction.
about.
Oh, wait,
got
you're
two
still
of the great-
answering the question I asked you. No, go right
Yeah,
ahead
yeah. I
and
was
do that, please,
waiting my turn
Rich.
quietly,
patiently.
you know.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Moving on.
yeah.
Gary's been rushing me this whole time, you know.
Right? So we have to remember, they're professionals. They've all won majors. They've all, like, these guys are crazy good at golf. They're going to figure it out. They're not going to be terrible. The question that I'm asking is Kisner going to be the alternate next week? And he's going to be out.
Oh, yeah. Tom Kim's in, Kisner's out. That's a great prediction. Well, I think no matter what, we're seeing Tom Kim, but I think that Kisner will be
Tiger's
the
not
rotation.
going out.
For
Of course
whatever
not.
reason, I hope he sees this show and hears him, and then you give him a complex for the week. Feel like
No, I think Kisner's a great golfer.
He's
I
an
think
amazing
it's just-
golfer.
He's a funny
Right,
guy,
like-
great commentator.
Right,
Like
yeah.
he's a great personality.
He's
in
a
the sport of
dude's
golf.
dude, you know?
Yeah.
I loved it because they were all laughing and joking and just like, holy cow, they were
It felt
every
normal.
single time they were hitting in the water. Like, it was great.
You know that when he scalded into the flag stick and all that was like very near the end of the competition, and you know they lost their minds, and even for the rest of the time, like they were still like trying to gather themselves and like regain composure. The whole thing ends, and just minutes after, they came right into the media center, and all 3 of them stood on the stage, 3 microphones, step and repeat. We got to ask questions. When they walked in the room, they were still like laughing, like they weren't like crying anymore, but it still hadn't all got out of their system yet. Like it was just
It would be like if the 4 of us were golfing and somebody scolded off the flagpole, we would still be laughing going into the end. Like,
and look at that big term. Like we're gonna have this thing that Tiger created that is going to bring camaraderie to these guys that are going to play against each other later on in the PGA Tour, which then is going to bring some kind of more positive vibes, I feel, and some better scores and some more connections that we wouldn't have seen if it hadn't been for Tiger's thing.
fair enough.
agreed.
It was cool to see Tiger's mom in attendance.
Dude, Tiger.
It was.
Yeah.
Josh, do you know what she writes on Tiger's head cover all the time?
Really?
She hand
She
stitches
hand sews.
something.
I forget what it is though. It's like love mom, and every year Tiger
Love
throws
from mom.
love from mom, and
And
every
it's in
year
like Thai.
Thai.
It's written in Thai,
yeah.
and the 3 word symbols are things mean love from mom. And
And
she
then-
hand stitches it on his tiger head cover.
I
Every
wonder-
year he throws it to his dog, and the dog rips it up.
When?
Every
That's
year he's
not
done with it.
true.
100%. Look up Tiger. I don't know everything about Tiger. Look up Tiger saying every year when he's done with the year, he throws it to his dog, and the dog rips it up, and then his mom sews him a new one.
Kind of the fun thing about that is it just eliminates. Are you going to sell it? Are you going to donate it? Like these are collectors. People would pay. He's like, dog.
I
Now,
give
do
up
you-
like a week of golf to have that.
Do you think she does that for Charlie then too?
Maybe something left from grandma?
I don't know. Anyway,
Moving on.
I brought something back.
Nice. What?
Gary,
Oh!
I figured we give you so much hell about your love for Tiger Woods that the least I could do is bring you back a Jupiter Lynx golf hat.
Can't hear you, Gary. You're not on your
yeah,
mic.
you're not on your mic. He's way
Sorry.
too excited.
You got to
Yes.
talk in your mic there, buddy.
He can't. He doesn't even have the headphones on. He can't hear you.
No, he has no clue we're even making fun of him.
He's in his own world right now.
You guys can say
Right?
anything you want about Gary right now. This is
It's great.
Make the adjustment. Here we go. Dude, look at that. Look at Gary.
Nice.
You had to take off one tiger hat to put on another tiger hat.
Thank you.
There you go, Gary.
Dude, I love Dan.
You
Dan's the
know,
man. I'm going to look at myself in my mirror.
I felt like it's the least I could do. There's this brand new line of Tiger gear, and only I had access to it last night.
Dude,
so
you're the man.
Actually,
Hey,
you
did
could
you a
get them.
solid.
I'm pretty sure you could get them at Golf Galaxy and Dick's now.
It PGA Tour
You
Superstore,
could get
Oh no,
Is-
that's what it was.
Galaxy.
PJ
of course,
Superstore.
because it's in association with PGA
Yep.
Tour. However, and I was at the here's what's funny. I was at the PGA Tour Superstore in Illinois and in Florida in the last 2 days. I just stop in for fun. But they had very limited selection, and most all of the Tiger Woods stuff was gone.
Wow.
Naturally.
Naturally.
Dude, this is sick.
What a great time, huh?
Dude, I love it.
What a great time to be alive. You know, Gare, here's the great thing about giving a nice little gift to you.
I appreciate it.
You do.
I love it.
You genuinely do.
Well,
and that makes it fun.
The Masters towel, the hat, the live towels, the Kirkland gloves.
Keep going. No.
The jacket you were wearing
Okay,
earlier.
okay.
No, the tee
Oh,
or not the tee. The
he won that,
brush.
though, fair and
You-
square.
yeah, he
Gary
beat
didn't
me.
win
He
it.
beat me for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he earned it. All right, all right.
My favorite, when I would go travel for golf, I'd always bring Dan back a souvenir. So I brought him back a hat. I'm like, pick something. I forgot what I said. But never mind. Let's move on. I filtered that comment out of my story. It's not for this.
Did you guys see John Daly went in for surgery?
Oh, no. Is he all right?
Ooh, what happened?
So apparently he went in for a hand surgery.
Did
But
he have glass embedded?
He's out for what, 7 weeks? Scotty Scheffler hanging out the house. Here is what's weird, and maybe this is my own fault. I could not find anything on the entire internet that explained what happened. Is this like a long-term injury that had to be solved, sort of like a Jordan Spieth thing? Did he fall? Was this like Carrie Underwood? He's going up some steps and then the
Even
whole
his
thing.
beard looks like he's in the hospital.
I did further research and same thing popped up. Nothing, but
Thank you.
someone did say he has osteoarthritis.
Oh, no. In his hands.
Yeah,
Oh, that's horrible.
yeah, in his left
I
hand.
wouldn't
yeah.
wish that on my worst enemy.
And dude, his last 4 years have been kind of rough, dude.
Well, think about it. He's probably already had this happen.
Wait. What years weren't rough for John Daly? Other than 1991,
Well,
maybe.
you guys want to hear the rundown for the past 4 years with this guy?
Now, in these last 4 years, was this when he lost around $60 million in gambling?
I have no clue.
Was this when he went through a few marriages?
That's impressive.
Like all of that.
No, so in,
Because you're saying these last 4 were pretty rough. I'm just trying to set the bar here. Were they like normal rough or like additionally rough? But
I
please
think
go
additional. So
Doubt it.
it starts in 2020. He
All
was
right.
diagnosed with bladder cancer.
ahead. Okay, you know what? You're
Oh,
right. That
no.
sucks.
Yeah.
But I do remember that. That was
Yeah.
when he first started growing the beard out.
And he underwent surgery to remove it.
Yeah.
And he told the PGA website and the guys at the PGA that it's a strong chance of it coming back. So he's
Ugh.
dealing with that. And then he lost his home because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
And then now this.
Okay. So gambling losses, bladder cancer, house in Florida. Bladder cancer probably first, right? That has to be the worst.
Probably.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, I hope he has full recovery.
He says he's
and-
fine.
Is he? Great.
Yeah.
And
If prayers work, John, we're sending you one, buddy. That's all I got to say.
Gary, what time of day do you generally pray for people like John Daly? Is it like a morning thing, or do you do it before bedtime, or like before dinner? Like when do we do these?
I'm not going to lie. I would say 20% of the time before I go to sleep, I get down and I thank God for everything that I
That's
have nice
beautiful,
in my
man.
life.
No judgment. It was a funny question.
No,
I'm not
no,
judging you for
I-
doing that.
But my sociopathic tendencies didn't take it as a joke. I didn't
What
register
time
it.
of day?
You
just praying
like
for John
104.
Daly.
Just take me there.
420.
And then I have my tea.
So, the only thing I could find for reason of surgery is he does have arthritis and joint pain, and then he also could have injured his hand playing golf because obviously he plays
Well,
a
right, because
lot of
it was
golf.
classified as an emergency hand surgery. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh,
Yeah.
my arthritis kind of sucks and let's get this thing kind of taken care of. It was whatever classified as an emergency surgery.
I wonder if it's the arthritis. I wonder if it cramped up and he literally couldn't move.
Oh, it'd be a nightmare.
Or
Especially if he's holding something and he can't let it go.
this happens.
What was he holding? And he's like,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to know I was
Stop
grabbing.
making jokes.
This also happens to people where they get that cleft hand where their hands kind of like stuck like this.
You just got to get bigger grips. Look at see that Bryson DeChambeau uses those.
no, I
Shambo
mean, you
grips,
can
yeah.
Yeah.
no, you can still like move it, but like you're stuck like this. So I wonder if
Which
that could
for
happen
some
too.
people
So-
could be convenient. Is all I'm saying.
yeah.
Jeez.
Daly did say that.
Honestly, John would appreciate this. Actually, now that I think of it, we're talking about. Yeah,
Thank
he'd
you.
be fine.
Daly
Rich,
did
what
say
was-
he'll be back playing in no time. So
Nice.
apparently surgery went well, and he'll be back playing.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
look at my hat as we transition.
Josh, you said he's getting some love on social.
Oh yeah, DJ Khaled and Pat McAfee.
Of
Those were the big names that were in the article.
I'm sure there's chatter in the entire goat
Oh,
farm.
yeah.
I mean, all of them.
Nice, dude. I love it.
Thank you.
Fun. I'm gonna
wow.
beat you tonight in it.
Speedy recovery, man. He's just such an iconic person and a fun character in the world of golf. Obviously, father, husband, all kinds of things.
Without a
and
doubt,
we only wish
Tiger-
the best.
Sorry to cut you off, and I agree with you completely.
Thank you.
Tiger has brought more and kept more people here. Even the haters, there's all these different sections of people. Like Howard Stern was more successful because the haters watched him 3 times longer than his fans. I think John is probably the second person in line that kept people in golf because of him. You know, what
I think so. I think even like non-golfers
yeah, watch
will
it 'cause of
say
him.
like, "Oh, John Daly." Like, it's just like he's part of like the vernacular.
And do you guys know anyone that just doesn't like him?
Probably people that lost money to him, but they probably still like him.
You know what I mean? There's never anything
like
bad about
someone's
John
just like,
Daly.
you know what? I'm not a big John Daly guy. I'm more of who gives you. No, I've
Like-
never met somebody who
Like someone gave people were giving him a lot of not a lot of people, but
yeah.
once you see like 1 or 2 people doing it, it kind of like adds on a little bit.
Escalates, yeah.
Yeah, escalates about when he signed with Hooters.
Yeah.
People were kind of like, yo, that's not right, and stuff like that. But then everyone else was like, you realize what his brand is,
There's a
right?
Hooters
and
tour.
then it
Yeah.
stopped.
You're just behind if you don't understand why John Daly, Hooters, this is all a part of the world,
Yeah.
the whole thing. And now his beverage line he has out, like
Which I have yet to try.
Josh has.
It's so good, dude.
Is it much better than the other, like, what are those stupid things
You mean
called?
White Claws?
Yeah. Like, cause
So it's vodka and juice. So it's not like it's not
is it
like
better
a
than
White
a
Claw.
High Noon?
Yeah, because it's not carbonated.
That's what I'm excited to try for.
It's
Okay.
not carbonated. It's smooth.
Nice.
Like I could see how he could put down 25 of them in a matter of 12 hours, but they're light. They're nice.
How many do you think you could do in 12 hours?
A lot, because the one time we did drink these on course,
But be functionable.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Last time I've had these actually I had it on New Year's, but on the course, I think we downed for 3 people. We downed about 20 or 24. We were 24 of them.
It's like a respectable number too. Like, like it was a lot, but it wasn't outrageous. It's not like my buddy who buys a case of beer at Sawgrass for $400 and drinks it himself entirely. Jesus. Sir, this is Sawgrass. What's that mean? It's going to be $300 and they gives her a $100 tip. Drank
Like-
the whole thing by himself.
It's like in Dumb and Dumber, like it's $500 a plate. Here, in case we
that
want
too.
seconds. Yeah. Did you guys see this? I was scrolling the feeds. Good is signing pro golfers to the Good brand.
Oh.
Yeah. I saw that.
I think that is so insane and so cool and so interesting that you take a handful of young guys, they started, a trick shot channel and doing golf shots and kind of grow into this buddy golf thing and start evolving this brand, this good thing. And it just keeps growing and keeps elevating. And all of a sudden we're seeing good like in golf stores. And it's like, holy cow, like these kids like from YouTube are in retail stores now. Like that's mind blowing. And it just sort of kept elevating and elevating and elevating. And we even see like people from their channels breaking off and becoming as big as their channels in other ways. And it's just like, what an insane story in golf, what these young guys have evolved this brand into. But now that it is transcended into these amateur golfers who are all very good at golf, own a brand that signs pro golfers. And Joel Damon is one of the new golfers on the good team lineup. Also among them, Michael Block, the sweetheart story from the PGA Championship 2 years ago. That whole thing.
I love Michael Block. That story's so good.
Yep.
John Pack. I don't know a lot
He's a
about
rookie.
him. He's a rook.
Mhm.
All right. Hey, apparently there's something they like about him. I don't think that, they picked his name out of a hat.
Yeah.
Who else do we got on this
Bo
list?
Hostler. He was on Bob Does Sports at the very beginning of his stuff. Yeah.
That's a voice I'm going to try to get down.
Which one?
Bob was like, I ate this bagel. It's amazing. I don't think that there'll be another bagel like this ever.
I love
You
when
sound just like him.
No, I sound nothing like him.
when he names like his bagel guy. What was it, like Haviv? He's like,
Come at
I
me,
tell
everybody
you
in the
what.
comments.
I tell you what, Haviv saw me coming today. He's just offloading product.
That
He's
is
got,
it.
He's got zero respect for me. And you know what? I take it. I take it. We have a thing, me and Haviv.
Dude,
He gives me the whitefish. I love he gives it the whitefish. He spills some in his car and it goes down into the abyss where you drop your phone.
God.
If whitefish went down there in his car.
I never knew people would order 2 different DoorDash orders.
And they come at the same time.
Yeah, and then the fear is that they don't meet at the door at the same time.
Like, who has it as a rational fear?
You know what? That is
I
a
don't
level.
fear
So first of all, ordering from these delivery services, it's a premium. That's sort of a privilege you earn in life when you can afford to pay more for the same food by having somebody bring it to you.
Like triple.
But then yeah, but I want some stuff from there, and you got a bunch of guys coming. That's how you know you made it. It's not mansions. It's not a Lambo in the driveway.
It's the Uber Eats double order.
Yeah, it's when you're on Uber Eats and Grubhub at the same time, and you don't give a shit.
What's more impressive, when you send your date away in an Uber and the same Uber picks up your next date? I didn't do that. I just heard the story, but
You know what would be like elite
That's
status?
Yeah,
ethical
Gizmo type thing.
and rude.
Uber driver drops off the food she doesn't know you ordered and then takes her away. Talk about just really fixing your night.
Do you see that you could Uber helicopters now?
No way.
I didn't know, but of course you can. Like, it makes sense.
Of course there is.
Of course there is.
So it's like a very New York thing.
Yeah, oh,
Ubering
yeah.
helicopters.
In LA.
Yeah, I don't think they're like landing like in a cornfield around here somewhere. It's like a helipad. Anyway, like I don't know, this whole good thing just sort of stepped out to me. Apparently these guys have grown their little minuscule numbers to a whopping 1.7 million subscribers on YouTube.
It's awesome.
Have they surpassed Rick Shields yet?
I don't
Or is he in the
know.
2 million range? He's like at the low twos, I think.
But guess who hit 1 mil?
Grant Horvat.
Yeah.
Nice job, Grant.
Yeah, he
Oh, wait,
streamed it
wait.
live as the thing rolled over.
Isn't Garrett about to be a father? I just
What?
saw him on a boat hit a ball and it exploded pink. And in my head, I'm like, is he about to be a dad? We have somebody look that up. I feel that's or did he do it for Grant? Because like in my head, I felt like it was more of a Grant thing, but he let Garrett do it for some reason. But why would Grant let Garrett do that. But I did see that video like last night.
The only way I'm coming is if I can hit the ball to see what
Duh.
color it is.
Yeah, it probably is one of the married guys.
It's got to be Grant. Well, it doesn't got to be one of them.
What does it mean?
I mean, it doesn't gotta be, but it probably
Have you
is.
seen Garrett's girlfriend?
No, is she famous or is
She's,
she like just like a
Like
like
if
a standard
like
human?
you were to place her like on a handicap for good looking, she's like a +10.
Wait, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Does that mean she's like scratch? Like
She's better than
everyone?
Scratch.
Oh, +10. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know how to equate that to like a. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. A +10 handicap of a.
Look.
Wow. What do you rate yourself?
Nothing.
He's even.
Just you're a scratch person. I'm more of like an itchy person.
I don't judge.
Terrible joke.
I don't judge
Terrible.
myself.
Itchy and Scratchy.
That's a good show.
Simpsons, baby.
I don't know. There's so much stuff I'm skipping from this week because
I was like, we weren't even past the
jamming like
first
crazy.
page. I'm like looking over.
But it was the most important thing.
But this is way more fun, and I got a hat.
You did.
Thank
He
you.
looks great on you. It's
I appreciate this.
fantastic. I feel like before we get out of here, I just want to bring up a couple more things. I love seeing Nick Taylor back in the winner's circle. Nick Taylor's kind of one of those sneaky guys. For some reason, he's not like one of these go-to guaranteed names that everybody's, whatever, lining up a mile, whatever. But the guy plays well and he wins. And I don't know. I think he's like almost one of these guys you got to look out for because he just took his 5th PGA Tour win.
So you're saying Mr. Two
Oh.
First Names can't finish in regulation? Oh, my bad. I had a joke there, but I am reading my teleprompter completely wrong. But anyways, having a playoff win is like hooking up with a supermodel. Everyone celebrates it, but deep down, you know it might never happen again. Luckily enough, this guy has got them all on speed dial because this is his 3rd playoff win.
Oh boy, he's got Bubba
Hey.
Watson hair arms.
Gizmo's bringing show facts.
I'm
now.
proud of
Look
you.
at
in the
that.
news.
Just not shade and nonsense. Good for you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Talking about how you've been like kidnapped and all this stuff and you're drunk and saying Gary's name wrong. You're contributing today, and I appreciate you because
He says
correct.
Tiger weird.
Of Nick Taylor's 5 PGA Tour wins, this was the 3rd time taking the win in a playoff situation, which to me means Nick Taylor, Mr. Two First Names, thank you, Gizmo, is a closer. And coffee is for closers.
I wouldn't call him a closer because if he was a closer, he would win. He
we did 5
He
times.
did win.
No.
We're talking about-
I'm talking about win in
He's holding a
regulation.
trophy.
I'm saying win in regulation.
That don't matter. That don't matter because sometimes the person they're trying to sell to you doesn't call you back forever, and then that's overtime.
Did you see how he got to that? Got to
Wait.
the playoffs?
Hold on. I want us to take a step back. And you say winning in a playoff is not a closer. You have to win in regulation to be a closer. I think you are the highest level of closer because that is a far higher pressure situation. I see Rich shaking his head. Rich, please chime in and agree with me.
It's for sure. I mean,
understand
the
you.
playoff is the pinnacle of pressure. There's
Oh, yeah.
no other pressure that you're playing that hole right there. Every stroke counts during the whole tournament, but you got 4 days of playing. If you make a bad shot, you can kind of get up, come back from it or whatever. But the playoffs, I mean,
No,
Josh
no,
disagrees.
no.
Back to Josh. Go.
No. Do you see Mariano Rivera when he was pitching in
Hold
the
on.
bottom of the 9th?
I don't know who that is.
He's the greatest closer of all time that was on the Yankees.
disagree.
Do you ever see him?
This is between you and Rich.
do
I'm
you
gone.
ever see him go into the 9th inning and get a save if it goes into extras? No, it's a blown save at that point, and they bring in someone else. Closers finish games. He didn't finish. He had to add the extra, and then he finished. Not a closer. He just knows how to win.
Okay, so I can't go all the way there with you because you just spoke of somebody I've never heard of in my life, about a sport I don't watch, about situations I'm unaware of. So going back to golf, which is mainly what the show's about, primarily.
Sometimes.
I agree though that the high pressure situation of a playoff to me is the epitome of pressure. Gary, would you agree or disagree that playoffs are more pressure or
Look
less?
at Josh laughing his ass off. He
What
just
did you
hit
do?
his
Did you
knee.
whack your
I
knee?
hit my knee.
He probably thought
Good.
some
You know what?
bullshit.
Good.
Good, yeah.
Good.
Hit your knee again. You.
Oh,
I
man.
understand Josh's thing completely. Don't you throw more tees
No, I
at him?
am. Josh, you hit your knee and you get teased.
I know
That's
tees.
what you get.
I know tees.
That's what you get. But go on. Let's continue our cordial debate here. Gary, your thoughts.
I get it. He's good enough that he doesn't need a playoff. That is a closure. I understand that. But also closing in a playoff's huge. So you're both right. Moving
Is
on.
Tiger Woods a
But
closer?
no,
The
no, that
biggest
would be
Tiger
like
Wait,
Woods a
pitch-
closer.
Thank you for saying this.
Pitch-
Time out.
Is Tiger Woods a closer?
Do you want to make a deal right
Yes.
now?
I think
could
he
you
is.
could you tell me
How many times has Tiger Woods won in a playoff?
44 out of 46,
Thank you. So is he or is he not a closer?
leading by 54 holes? Yes, he's 100% a closer. And who are the two people that didn't get it? And do you know the answer? Because if you do, I'll give you 2 more shots per side.
We're back to the
on our
challenge.
bet. And if you don't, I get to take 1 away from
Isn't
side.
BJ Singh one of them?
No.
Then
We
who-
discussed this too in the show, so this is the only reason why I'm bringing it up.
Oh, I'll be honest. I have no clue.
Oh, it was Zach Johnson, Why Yang.
Zach Johnson's an angry elf.
He is a little.
He is little.
You know
No,
that they
but-
say that I put my glasses on. People are like, "Oh, is that Zach Johnson?"
So
I have a question,
This
though.
baseball player you're
Wait,
talking about that
wait,
can't
wait,
go
I-
into extra innings or play. It's because he can't close when it goes past regulation, so they have to put someone else in who can handle the pressure.
Yeah, well, a closer is meant to pitch like 1 inning. You know,
Get the
close
job
out the
done.
game.
Call it. Be relaxed. Be yeah.
But
What are you saying, Rich?
okay, never mind. What are you saying, Rich?
So 2 things. One, the tournament in baseball would be like the opening pitcher or the starting pitcher. So you pitch the whole entire game, and then the closer would be the guy who comes in either the last inning or in extra innings or something like that.
Because he's
So
exhausted.
this would be exactly. So the regular tournament is the starter, and then the playoffs is the closer.
Ooh, so
so-
are you a closer?
I feel like it's
Yeah.
by round. I feel like you're the closer if it's the 4th round.
To me, a closer is the person holding the trophy at the end of the tournament, not the guy who lips out his birdie putt and doesn't make it through Q school and get his tour card for this year and all these crazy stories we've heard where these guys are just missing by an inch. Again, another year in a row of the biggest opportunity of their life. And it's crazy. You'll see them like miss a 2.5-foot putt and it just goes next to the hole. And it's another year they don't have their tour card. To me, that would be somebody who's not a high level closer.
Can I give you a scenario real quick?
Hopefully it's about something I
It's
understand.
about golf.
Under 20
It's about
seconds.
golf.
All right, go ahead.
20
go ahead.
seconds.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
about wrestling.
Say you're leading by 5 strokes going
Okay.
into round 4.
Yeah.
You blow it, and
Yeah.
now you're going to a playoff. That's a blown save. Because
Correct.
you had
Yes.
you had the game, like you had the tournament in
Like
the bag,
Rory in 2011.
and then you gave it up so much that you have to go on a playoff, and then you win. That's a blown save win.
Blown save.
Right, but they're two different things.
Thank
like
you.
so he the final day 4 he gave up 5 strokes to lead to the playoffs. So yeah, he played terrible golf. He let the stress get to him and all of that. But when he went into the playoffs and he went into the quote extra innings, he had the fortitude. He was the closer at that point.
Right, because at
Like,
that
he
point,
closed
score's
it.
even. We're both at 0. Like there
Yes.
is no score, and it's kind of like a mano-a-mano situation, and we will not stop until one of us is victorious. And it will
Yes.
literally go on to infinity until it is finally resolved.
going into that, like sometimes it's not nerves. Sometimes it's you're so confident and cocky, you try not to portray that. Like Rory on his 4th day at the Masters when he was leading by that crazy amount, he said if he could go back in time, he would have been more cocky. And like when I give people like say whatever amount of strokes per thing, I'm thinking, well, I just can't wait till we get down to 0, which will be probably around this hole. But them, they should be hitting the most confident, full swinging shots that they could because they do have that advantage. But it seems like when they do have the advantage, that's when they seem to screw up the most.
All right, let's take a vote. If coffee is for closers, does Nick Taylor get coffee?
Yes.
You vote
100%.
coffee?
Yes.
Rich
It's
is
a pot.
coffee. Josh, are you coffee? How about a
No.
latte? Maybe you got to
That's
get like,
better
you
than
know.
coffee.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe some warm chocolate milk.
All right, marshmallows?
No.
So Coco.
What about like one big one like Bart Simpson got?
No, and not even
Sucked
like
up all his
not
chocolate
even
milk.
like True Moo. Like you got to make it yourself the nest quick.
An all
Ooh.
syrup super squishy. Such a thing has never been done.
And it's like lumpy where you don't. It's
Make
too
it
cold,
happen.
so it
No, are
doesn't
you guys
stir in well.
are you guys syrup or the powder? Nesquik.
Ooh.
Powder.
I'm almost a little more of a Nesquik guy,
Both.
but
On
you
ice
can't
cream?
deny the tradition of the Hershey syrup. I mean, listen, in honor of John Daly, I feel like we should all have a huge Hershey syrup chocolate milk. Just like just a big like Denny's tumbler of chocolate
Do
milk.
we bring in like a gallon and drink it throughout a show so you could get the lowest?
Oh my god!
You guys would be done.
Chocolate. No,
You would be playing for
mm-mm.
second.
No.
You think you could drink more milk than me in an hour?
All right, let's set up another challenge. Go ahead, guys. What are we playing for?
What are we doing? What are
Here we
doing?
go.
Next episode,
Hey,
I'll
listen,
drink a gallon of
listen.
milk versus
Hey,
you.
Hey, I'll give you 6 ounces aside.
Wait.
What would be fun? What would be fun is we each put a gallon of milk in front of each of them. We do the pod, and they drink the milk during the pod.
That's what I
And
said.
then who's
Yeah.
ever at the very end
Let's
of the
do that
pod, we
next
see who
pod.
does it.
Yeah.
And then we also film afterwards when the milk curdles and they're all puking everywhere.
I will
Uh,
not puke.
No,
Is there-
chocolate milk is different from regular milk.
I'm
I
taking
think.
white. You could do what you
I'm
want.
doing
That
chocolate.
is
do
different. It's got chocolate in it.
It comes from brown cows.
Yeah.
Chocolate cows.
Here's the question, though: is there a sort of like relieving yourself, going to the bathroom?
You can go to the bathroom anytime you
Can
want.
you though?
Here's the thing.
You could pee, you can't puke.
I feel like
Can't do either.
Scientifically,
I agree
they
with Rich
say
here.
it's impossible to drink a gallon of milk in under an hour without puking. But obviously, some people that have a higher tolerance.
I
can
bet
do
you
it.
that hot dog guy could do it. Whatever his name is, the guy who like wins the hot dog thing every
Oh,
year.
Joey
I've
Chestnut.
done it.
Joey Chestnut. I bet you could
Joey
probably
Chestnut's
slam.
I've done it
He could. You drink a full gallon in an hour?
on a construction site. The Oberweis guy came up, and I was driving a cement truck, and I'm like, "Dude, could you guys help me? I
Did
don't
you
have
get like
any."
one of the glass
They
things?
got the glass. They go, we'll buy you a thing of milk, but you got to drink it before you leave. And I'm
You
like,
finished
"All
the one glass thing?
right." Yeah.
It's not a gallon.
That's a half
That-
gallon.
oh, well, then I'm wrong.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So hey, you know what? There's good training.
That's
I used to
bullshit.
do food
Are you
eating.
sure the glass ones aren't a gallon? That
Yeah.
sucks.
When I was in
But
high
that's-
school, my
Well, then
first
I don't feel
YouTube videos were
special.
food eating challenges.
Did you Joey Chestnut some milk or what'd you do?
I Joey Chestnutted some
Joey Chestnut all over the place.
nuggets.
How many did you
So-
eat?
20 as fast as I can.
How long did it take?
The second go around I did it, it took
We are soft.
like a minute 20 or like a minute around.
Did you use dip?
Oh yeah, you had to.
Well, yeah, you gotta get
You
some
gotta-
like
I-
moisture.
Yeah.
Some food lube.
The first time I choked on 4 of them, and I spit them up and I ate them again.
Did you get this?
Wait.
Did you get this for free or did you buy it?
Bought it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And then I've done Subway sandwiches. I've done Blaze Pizza. I've done a whole bunch. I've done 4 Big Macs in one sitting.
Did you ever do the blazing challenge
Hey,
from?
no.
I just
Buffalo?
Hell
not
no.
yet.
hold on. I want to frame this real quick. You guys know I was on The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
4 Big Macs isn't like a crazy thing. I did that like without anyone watching.
You know, it
Like
takes
on a
fif-
Whatever. It's
Tuesday.
fine. It's fine. Yeah.
it takes like 52 days for a Big Mac to digest in your system.
Where does it go?
But it goes out your butt.
Do you
but-
know what sucked that day too? After I did it, I had a large chocolate shake from White Castles.
Which is probably one of the best milkshakes you could have.
Oh yeah.
You know, it'd be pretty phenomenal if what Gary said it was even remotely true. You know the way corn comes back out like in its fullest form? That if Big Mac did that, freak you out. You're like,
Ugh.
how is there
Oh.
a sandwich
Oh.
just there?
That would
Makes
hurt.
no
it
sense.
reassembled itself.
Sesame
53 days
seeds.
later.
Yeah.
You'll need a new butthole for that
Have
one.
you ever seen they had molten copper bouncing off the Big Mac on a metal plate, and then the metal plate just had a hole in it where the Big Mac was, and the Big Mac was just standing there flipping it off?
Well, sign me up for 4 of them. Sounds great.
Extra sauce. Moving on.
All right, last thing before we get out of here, we skipped a bunch. I think we'll save some of this for next week. But we do have another golf tournament coming up this weekend. Josh, where are they heading? I lost everything.
We're
It's all
going to
gone.
the American Express.
Oh.
Camila Vajegas.
And where's the American Express at?
It is in La Quinta.
La Quinta.
La Quinta.
That's right.
There's-
PGA West, Pete Dye Stadium course, La Quinta, California. How far is that from these
God, that's so nice
disasters that are
looking.
going on?
I'm looking at these holes. Are these like holes that are like take it away, like that Sawgrass. Go to the next clip. Next clip. That looks like 18 players championship, except just smaller.
These are the courses.
I know, but like, yeah, like every hole is its own like shout out to another course hole somewhere.
I didn't know that.
No. I'm thinking, is it? That's my question.
I don't know.
Okay.
One of the questions that was asked to Tiger Woods last night, speaking of upcoming tournaments, they said, with everything going on in Los Angeles, fires and everything like that, where's everything at with the Riv, the Riviera tournament? And he basically just said, right now with everything that's going on, it's literally the last thing on my mind. If anything, we should be thinking about not potentials of golf tournaments out there. It's how we can help.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that, the amount of impact from, these sort of disasters out in the Los Angeles area, which is why I was curious, because I don't know where La Quinta is. Is that anywhere near there? Or
I think it is SoCal.
So I have a map up right here. It is in Southern California. It looks like it's going to be like due east of Los Angeles, Anaheim area.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's in the affected burn zone, if you will.
Yeah.
But you'd be flying in and out of LA probably, and that is like that. The airport's like right there in the middle of everything.
Affected.
So yeah, I don't think the actual golf course is affected in the towns directly connecting it to it, but it's close.
What about the Riviera?
Riviera was, well, never mind.
Where's the Riviera?
Yeah, well, because that's what they kept
Riviera.
asking Tiger about last night. And I don't know where that is in relation to everything that's happened.
Isn't it at the Riviera?
Yeah. But I just don't know where it physically.
Wait, the American Express is going to be at the Riviera?
No. It's
So,
a different tournament. The Riv is
Riviera
different.
and La Quinta, the city, is 3 hours and 17 minutes away from each other. It's 143 miles. And
Oh,
yeah.
the Riviera Country Club's in the Pacific Palisades. That's like that's in the burn zone.
That's what was
right
being
next to
brought
Lo-
up last night.
It's what, west of Los Angeles?
If
They
it's
would-
west of LA, then yeah, it's definitely in that zone.
Oh boy.
So,
Like that country club is like right in the heart of, like, when you look at the map, that's
Is it
all the red
gone?
area.
Someone
It's
do a Google News search. Just see. We need to know right now.
the Riviera was spared damage, but it was smack in the middle of a burned out Pacific Palisades neighborhood that is currently inaccessible and under evacuation orders.
Wow. Which again, it's like, okay, so great, it's untouched, but you're like in the middle of just the heart of this devastation, which is insane to be like, and he steps up to the 6th tee, and you just see like
The
like,
only
Just a chimney over there. That's the only thing left from the house.
the only good
Like-
thing of it, if it actually hits Riviera, is it might slow it down because it's out in the open. Golf course. I mean, there's trees, but like it's not like it's a
that is a
forest.
thing, possibly.
if they're watering the grass, maybe that'll,
Hear about well, I don't want to get off the tracks any more than we are.
we're way gone.
Too late.
Last year's winner at the American Express was Nick Dunlap. See if he wants to come back and try and be a 2-timer there. Or is it going to be
$8.8 million purse.
the non-closer Nick Taylor? Is he going to come?
Well, he didn't get paid for his win last year because he was still an amateur. This is the one he won.
That's right.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then all that money just got bumped down. So player, second place just like won way more than he should have because first place didn't get to take the
That
money.
does not feel like a year
Can
ago.
somebody
No,
can
not at
somebody
all.
explain that to me, how that worked? I mean, I understand he was amateur, so he could get paid, but why was an amateur playing? And I don't understand.
He got
Can
an
somebody
exemption.
explain that to me?
Yeah, so periodically amateurs will get exemptions into PGA Tour events for various reasons, whether it's how they're playing in college, whether it was they won the USAM or something like that, and then they'll get invited to play, but because they're not ready to make the pro switch, they want to remain an amateur, whether they still have some things they want to do, they want to finish the college year, they want to play in the US Amateur one more time, whatever it is. So they'll make this sort of decision to say, I don't want to be considered pro yet. I'm still amateur, but I am going to come play at this tournament. And then you get a guy who wins, and then he just has to be like, no, thank you. I'm all good on several $1 million.
Yeah, so like
I have class tomorrow.
usually what
On
happens.
hole 18, can I be like, I declare?
Yeah, I'm pro. I'm pro.
Yeah, I'm pro. I'm pro.
So what happens is with these amateurs, especially these college kids, because he was ranked super high. He was a star player at Alabama. If he didn't win, I think he was staying in college. All these college kids that come out and play for the tour for their exemptions, if they don't win, they're staying. But if they win, they're staying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where it's like, it's kind of almost like, oh, I'm on a PGA Tour tournament, but I also have in my back pocket just me being able to go back to school and play.
But
at
isn't
college.
that the
case.
goal? Like, I mean, unless you're Bobby Jones and you've done so much in golf that you're bored and you want to, like, you're having kids and now you're a lawyer. And it's like, how do you not just say yes? Or could he not say yes to that money at that point?
Well, it was too late. He
Okay, so
registered
that
into
makes
the
sense
event
then.
as an amateur,
Okay, so-
and then he had the little A in
Okay,
parentheses.
so
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
And if he decided to
crazy.
go pro, like before that tournament, he would have to give up college.
which is a
ball.
big, because you
Big
don't think
step.
you're going to win.
Well, and
Well,
Right.
Tiger would
potentially,
have.
by saying I'm pro, I'm forfeiting the amateur exemption that got me into this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm changing my status, and now no longer am invited to play at the thing. So now I'm going to stay an amateur. But since I'm staying an amateur, I'm actually still invited, so I can go. But that makes me
It's
kind of
too
want to go
much
pro. Yeah,
crazy.
it's
Too
all
much
bad.
oxymoron.
I know.
They should have figured out some way to get him money though. Like,
You know, here's the thing. I imagine it all worked out.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet you he's got NIL deals.
Are golfers getting those? Is
Yeah,
that- is it?
all athletes are.
You didn't get one yet? I
Wait,
got one.
Who is?
all
athletes aren't.
Not,
All
not I mean,
athletes aren't.
not all athletes aren't, but all athletes, as like all sports, they can.
How do you spell that?
What?
NIL.
No. A.
Athletes?
Yeah.
ATHELETE.
Now say it.
Athlete.
All right. It
I
sounded a
I
little
can't say my THs, dog.
It sounded a little different before. I was just checking.
What, you think I said athletes?
No, I thought it was F.
Athletes.
That's like my
Yeah,
dad. He
right,
says
that's all right.
perfect. He says perfect. I'm like,
Perfect?
you're saying perfect wrong. Yeah, but it's perfect.
I love.
I'm like,
I love
fine.
discovering people's nuanced words. Whatever. All right, guys. Whatever. We skipped like half the show. There was so much going on here, and we made it to basically like page 2. So we have plenty to talk about next week. And everyone else here, screw you. Apparently, you're not important. So who cares? Gary, I feel like you have one more thing to say.
Do we want to like end this show and then just go into the things we missed and just rock it out?
Here's the main reason why we can't
Okay.
is I've never had to pee this bad in my life.
Oh, okay.
So
We can do it after. You can go pee. It's
all
fine.
right. Well, for those of you
There's not
who-
enough storage.
who tuned into this show, not another future one. Thanks for joining us. Come back, press subscribe, do all that kind of crazy stuff, because you will only find the chaos of the Dance Golf World Show.